Welcome to the CBIA BizCast powered by Google. I'm Amanda Marlow. What's the coolest thing made in Connecticut? Voting is about to get underway in the third annual competition, highlighting our state's manufacturing industry. But before we have a conversation about the competition, we want to begin this episode with some of the top stories you may have missed. Connecticut may have set a jobs record in June, but a new CBIA Foundation analysis finds that longer-term labor market trends underscore significant risks to the state. The analysis found that revenue from income tax withheld from paychecks has grown slowly, while state spending continues to rise. That's leading to increasing reliance on volatile revenue sources, leaving the state budget more vulnerable to economic swings. The Pentagon has awarded General Dynamics Electric Boat one of the largest shipbuilding contracts in U.S. history. The nearly $77 billion award will be used to build 5 Columbia-class submarines and 9 Virginia-class submarines. Electric Boat President Mark Rea said the contract provides EB and its suppliers certainty, which allows them to make investments in their company and workforce. State officials broke ground on the first phase of a long-awaited update to Metro North's New Haven line. The $1.6 billion multi-year project aims to deliver faster, more reliable rail service between New Haven and New York City. Once all 3 phases are completed by 2035, the project should cut travel times by about 25 minutes in each direction. You can stay on top of all the state's business headlines and much more at CBIA.com. Let's turn now to the 2026 Coolest Thing Made in Connecticut competition. 16 Connecticut-made products are set to go head-to-head in the 3rd annual competition.
Voting starts August 20th, so make your picks, share the bracket, and help us crown a winner.
Now, in each round of the competition, the public will vote to determine which products advance. As we get ready for the first round to begin on August 20th, we've been visiting and showcasing all the products in this year's bracket. We're very grateful that CliftonLarsonAllen is back to sponsor the competition for a 3rd straight year. They've been joining us on these visits and are here to get an up-close look at the contenders. We are joined by Matt Gaieski and Brett Bushnell from CLA. Thank you guys for being here and for sponsoring the competition once again.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
We're really excited to talk more about your experiences over the past couple of months. But first, as I mentioned, this is the 3rd year that CLA is really supporting this competition. Tell us a little bit about why this is so important to you.
Yeah, 3rd year back, we're just thrilled to participate again with it, partner with great organizations like CBIA Foundation and Consteb. Manufacturing is a significant industry for us at CLA. Obviously represents a big part of our national economy, but I think this program, highlights just how important it is to Connecticut and the depth of manufacturing here in the state. I think a lot of people recognize the global names, but I think this program really highlights some of the smaller manufacturers that take part in that ecosystem. And again, just happy to celebrate those manufacturers.
Yeah, so there's 16 different manufacturers really from a number of industries, a lot of different employee sizes. And I think we sent you the list and said, okay, this is where we're going to go, come on board. Let's explore these different manufacturers. Were there some names that you were like, what is this?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I looked at Sheffield Pharmaceuticals and I said, well, it's a pharmaceutical company. What exactly do they manufacture, right? And to find out that they do the original toothpaste was a surprise to me. So that was pretty cool to see.
Was there anything that you found particularly interesting?
I think I said it so many times visiting the different companies, but I've been working with and calling on manufacturers for over 30 years. And it just amazes me that for a significant number of the companies that I visited, I had no idea they existed. They were in a little corner of the state. And so that is what makes this really cool.
Did you know that you'd be like the new face of a bicycle?
I did not know that. For those that saw the video, I got an opportunity to do that. And that's a perfect example of, up in near Barkhamsted, Connecticut, and, making a product that helps veterans and others enjoy bicycles with their family or otherwise. And so that was a great experience.
Yeah. And what about for you? You got to see inside of Martin Rosel's, which was I'm sure kind of cool.
I truly got to see how the sausage is made, right? Yeah, no, it was great to see. It was interesting when they rolled out the racks of all the hot dogs, and I don't know, maybe there were 500 on the rack, and just to see how they go through the process of vacuum sealing and getting them out the door is interesting.
Yeah. And in terms of like, even like the scope, right? So I know, Brett, you came with us to Medtronic, really big company, got to see what their manufacturing floor looked like for the Hugo robot, which is super cool. But then also, another day we were at a much smaller manufacturer, Calzone Case Company, not the food, which is with a much smaller team.
And again, I think that's what makes this competition so great, to celebrate, that depth of manufacturing experience from the largest manufacturers to those that feed into the larger manufacturers and otherwise. So it was a great experience for me at CLA. We work with a lot of privately held, family-owned businesses, and to go to Medtronic. We do a lot of work with those larger manufacturers, but to really get in there and see their operations was pretty special.
Were there any kind of like recurring themes that you guys heard from some of these business leaders, either specific to the industry or to Connecticut?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a workforce deficit, especially at the engineering level, where a lot of companies are going through that experience right now, but they're continuing to innovate and build out programs with AI and technology and try to figure out the most cost-effective way to do that going forward.
Is that similar to what you're seeing with your clients?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
And for me, it was pride too. I mean, one of the things that I enjoy most about working with manufacturers is walking the shop floor with the owners and those that have the story and, have taken a risk, and multi-generation families. So it's great to be able to highlight what I enjoy so much about what I do with the rest of Connecticut as part of this competition.
Yeah, agreed. I grew up in a family where there are a bunch of engineers, and they all worked in manufacturing throughout their long careers here in Connecticut. So it was nice to kind of come full circle on that.
Yeah. And I think that's something, obviously you see throughout the country, but specifically in Connecticut, like you said, there's so many family owned companies or, small manufacturers that have been going for well over 100 years and are really still working to stay in the business and not selling, to much larger companies.
A true sense of pride, I think, that you see walking the shop floor with an owner of a manufacturing company and the passion that they have for the product and the relationship that they have with the employees, not only in the back office, but on the shop floor. It was pretty neat. Is
there something that you heard more about that you or even saw that was like a little bit different or new?
Yeah. In a post-COVID era, just the supplier diversification needed by each of our manufacturers and how that plays into their daily operations and evolving with all the technology usage that they need to implement over the next however many years with AI adoption, et cetera.
Yeah, that was really evident. I think every manufacturer that we went to almost really talked about what they've learned from the pandemic and how they're really looking at shaping their future. Is that something that you guys are seeing with your clients throughout?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you take a look at, COVID and what manufacturers face there and the level of resiliency that these manufacturers had during that time, I think to the extent they can make it through that situation, they can really make it through anything.
And I think you've hit on it a couple of times, but really like the pride in being Connecticut made. What do you think makes that so unique?
Yeah, I mean, hearing the conversations with the manufacturers, all of them, I think, talked about how happy they were to be part of this Connecticut ecosystem. And they talked about the education and in the workforce. But I think the other thing that was evident is the level of camaraderie and relationships that manufacturers have, in some case, almost competitors, but the way that that group gets together to help each other.
So I think one of the reasons that we also do this competition is just to kind of generate more buzz about manufacturing in Connecticut, right? Connecticut has a deep history of manufacturing, and it's not going away. It's kind of here to stay, and it really supports so many jobs that maybe people aren't aware of.
Right. There are close to 156,000 jobs in the state of Connecticut that are related to manufacturing, and manufacturing is a top 5 industry in the state, and we don't see it going anywhere below that, right? So there are a lot of different resources within the state to support our communities. And we're hiring veterans. We're hiring a lot of different people from outside the state, bringing them in and making this a better state to live in overall.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much. I think we're excited to seeing which teams we'll have to place our back end bets of who we think is going to go far. But we'll see you guys again on October 1st, where we'll announce the winner.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks.
You can learn more about all of these products by going to cbia.com/coolest thing. And don't forget to vote for your favorites starting August 20th. You can follow us on social media channels and watch with News 8 as we spotlight the companies and products competing for this year's title. And that's a wrap on this week's BizCast. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode. In the meantime, give us your feedback and let us know if there are any guests you'd like to hear from by emailing us at bizcast@cbia.com. Remember, you can listen, like, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. For a full list of episodes, head on over to cbia.com.